And now welcome back to the Sullivan Tire Postgame Show. Teddy Steinberg joined by head coach Mark Theriault. And coach, you guys were able to pull it out. We had Ty and Weeks talking that it was a little closer than they wanted it to be. What are your thoughts on that?
That's exactly it. We thought we were prepared to play a little bit better offensively, scoring a little bit, few more goals. And then I think at the end, clock management was a complete disaster. So we didn't do well with that. So we needed to really, think about what we did and work on that.
Also, Andrew Wiegand, who made the huge save at the end of the game there, he was talking how this is the first time the senior class has beaten Plymouth State. And now, what does that mean for the seniors this year, especially, it being senior day?
Yeah, I think it's a nice, goal for them. And that was one of our goals this year for the senior group to beat Plymouth. Again, I think it wasn't the way we wanted to do it, but again, they did pull it off. And, Andrew had a huge save at the end that saved the whole game. And then Ty was just being Ty and doing amazing things, 2 goals and a million turnovers and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And so my memory's a little jogged. It was either halfway through the second or the third quarter that Andrew had to get pulled because he had an equipment malfunction. How do you handle those types of goaltending situations, or either just substitution situations if stuff like that happens?
Yeah, it's one of those situations that he said he needed to come out, and I was confused. And then he told me it was some of his equipment. So, what we have to do is next kid up. So Cam came in and was in there for a couple minutes, and then we were able to just sneak him back in. So it really didn't disrupt very much of the game. We had it in the offense during that time.
And you talked about, and I want to ask you the first question, a little bit offensive struggles. You thought you'd score a few more goals today, and you mentioned back on Tuesday in the post-game interview how you thought, Plymouth's defense being younger, you guys were going to be able to expose that a little more than you thought. Talk to me about how you think Plymouth handled your offense and really what you guys struggled on with offense.
Yeah, I actually think their goalie played really well. He had a lot of big saves. We took a lot of shots, and he saved a lot of them. I think part of the problem was he's lefty, and usually when you get a lefty goalie, it's not very common. So, people usually shoot over there, and lo and behold, his stick was right there. So, hats off to, Plymouth and their defense to hold us to 9 goals because we had opportunities. I just don't think we were gelling as good as I thought we could.
And obviously, you've mentioned it's a little closer than you wanted it to be. However, it is a big senior day win over your in-state rivals. How do you carry this type of momentum throughout the next practices heading into the remaining schedule?
Yeah, well, we have Castleton next, and it's an away game at night. So, we're just going to take the next one. I think, this is a solid win. We needed this win for the seedings. But, again, we are not taking anyone lightly. I think this team, sometimes we play great. Sometimes we're a little down. And I think today was a little down day. So, it's the job of the coaching staff to really try to make sure and to keep everyone up and going and, running on all cylinders, basically.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, and congrats on the win today.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Keene State Athletics on the Owls Media Network are brought to you by Chartwells, Eli Thayer at Edward Jones, located at 108 Main Street in Keene, the New Hampshire Army National Guard. Visit nationalguard.com/NH. By Hamlet Electric. By New Car Nissan of Keene. Everyone loves a new car. By Bella Vance Beverages. Sullivan Tire. We are always here to get you there. C&W Services. Fenton Family Dealerships. The GFA Credit Union. Engelberth Construction. The Luxury Box Photo Booth. The Melanson Company. WW Building Supply. The Keene Swamp Bats. Brickhouse Pizza and Wings. Fieldstone Land Consultants. Quality Care and Collision. The Fieldhouse at Homestead Mills. Cliffy's Pub, Northeast Delta Dental, and Sid's Carpet and Snooze Room.
Keene State Men's Lacrosse on the Owls Media Network is brought to you by Engelberth Construction. Located on 428 Main Street in Keene, we build relationships for life. Keene State was able to get it done against Plymouth State They took it 9-8 the final over their in-state rivals. The first time this senior class has beaten Plymouth State, especially here at home. It was a fun one. We're happy to have you along with us. If you want, switch over to baseball as we got the second half of the doubleheader between the Owls and the Huskies coming up in just a few minutes. But for now, my name's Teddy Steinberg. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
You have been watching a Keene State Athletics broadcast on the Owls Media Network. Please tune in to our next broadcast and thank you for watching.